Yo, what is up, Raidernation? It's your boy Samoa Raider back at it again with another video, and today is finally the day. Training camp is finally here, and that means that Raiders football is finally back.
And you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
So the players reported to the facility earlier today, and man, there was a lot of players out there just excited to be back, excited to go back on the field, and you know, a lot of new players that's on the team just excited to don the black and silver going into the season. You know, a lot of them are posting on their Instagram, on their Twitters, you know, guys like Rich Incognito, Solomon Thomas, Daniel Carlson, Carl Joseph, heck, even our quarterback, Derek Carr. Man, the excitement is here, man. I'm really excited to get into Raiders football, just to see these guys back in pads, just to see these guys get ready for preseason and into the official season this year, man. There's a lot of things for to be booming this year, you know, with Raider content creators and even with the Raider organization. Hopefully, we can do something and go into the postseason. I mean, I do believe 100% that the Raiders could be in the postseason this year, but that's just me. I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm gonna get right into it. Jon Gruden had a press conference. He had his own presser right after training camp, answered a lot of questions, and I took some notes, and I have some quick takeaways that I got from that press conference, which I'm gonna give to you guys. So for the first takeaway, Jon Gruden came forward and said that basically all the coaching staff and basically all the players other than 4 or 5 players have been vaccinated already.
We have every man vaccinated on the staff. I could also say that I believe we have every man vaccinated on the team with the exception of about 4 or 5 guys. We're also respectful of everybody's personal opinion.
As you guys know, the NFL has been doubling down on everybody getting vaccinated, which I think is, you know, a load of BS. I know there's a lot of people that say, yo, go take the vaccine or whatnot. No, it should be everybody's choice. And one thing that Jon Gruden did say on top of his own statement was, you know, that he respects everybody's decision, which is good to hear because, you know, the NFL been tripping a lot lately, and there's people that really lost their jobs and players that came forward and said that this was BS. But it's good that he's not forcing it upon our players. But looking on the bright side, it's good to see that like 90% of the team has already been vaccinated. So yeah. Now another thing that Jon Gruden addressed was Divine Diablo and his injury. Now I know I addressed this yesterday in my video. We already know that he was on the PUP list. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks, but we didn't know what the reason was for him being on that list, whether it was a big injury or not. But I seen a tweet from Tashawn Reed saying Jon Gruden said that linebacker Divine Diablo, who missed all of the offseason team activities, tweaked his knee and had a procedure done. The Raiders' 3rd round pick is expected to be back in a couple of weeks, so it seems like it's nothing too major, which is really great to hear because most likely Divine Diablo should be ready for week 1 of preseason. Now another player that I was kind of worried about was Darius Stills, and there was a report that came out today that Darius Stills just had a tweak in his back and should be ready to go next week. Again, on top of that is really good to hear. Now, Jon Gruden also addressed the secondary, first talking about Damon Arnett, a guy that has been, you know, talked about amongst the whole Raider Nation. A lot of people are saying that, you know, he's going to be good this year. A lot of people are saying that he's most likely not going to have any PT this year. But Jon Gruden did say that Damon Arnett is an opening day starter, and he's a big part of us moving forward.
Well, we drafted Arnett in the 1st round. He was an opening day starter, so he's a big part of us moving forward.
Now, I hope that's actually true, and hopefully Damon Arnett is showing out in training camp right now because I know we haven't seen a lot from him, and I know that last year he banged up his thumb and he basically played it with one hand. So hopefully this year we could see more of him, and hopefully he can live up to that 1st round talent that the Raiders believe that he was. So another thing that he did talk about was the depth that we have in the secondary. You know, Damon Arnett is a solid piece on his defense, but we have guys like Trayvon Mullen, we have Casey Hayward, heck, we got Amik Robertson, Isaiah Johnson, the list goes on. And Jon Gruden did say that he was fired up about this secondary, saying that we should keep a close eye on the secondary because it should be one of our strengths on this team. And if they're not, then we made some real mistakes. But that's not it. Later on in his press conference, Jon Gruden also addressed the secondary, saying that he was very excited and he would be very upset if his young secondary didn't live up or wasn't worth the price of admission.
Young secondary, I'm most excited to watch these guys compete and play, and I'll be really upset if they're not worth the price of admission.
And to be honest, he's not wrong. The Raiders spent a lot of time in the offseason and free agency and in the draft going out and getting secondary players, you know, safety, cornerbacks. And you add that with some of the veterans that we brought in free agency, well, Casey Hayward, and the players that we already had on this team like Trayvon Mullen, Damon Arnett, Amik Robertson, Isaiah Johnson. And then you add on top of that Ron Miles, one of the best DB coaches in the league. This secondary at least has got to be top 20 in the league. And if we're not, it's going to be a real big problem. But the overall fact that Jon Gruden is excited about this secondary going into the season, it kind of gives me some hope. But we never know until we actually see them play on the field. Now, Jon Gruden also addressed a certain linebacker that he has a lot of high hopes for and a lot of high praise for, Nicholas Morrow, saying Nicholas Morrow has a chance to be a team captain and a difference maker. He is on the rise. His time is right now. With that type of high praise, even though we brought him back for a one-year deal, if he does ball out and show out like Jon Gruden says he will, then he could most likely get an extension next season. I mean, if you look back at last year in 2020, Nicholas Morrow showed out. He had his best season yet, and he was one of our better players on the defensive side. So hopefully he could live up to that expectation this year, especially now that we have a new defensive coordinator and Gus Bradley. Hopefully we could see more out of Corey Littleton and even Nick Wachowski. Heck, even Tanner Muse this season. Another player that Jon Gruden talked about was Henry Ruggs and how he got injured in the first game of last season against the Panthers and how that played a huge part in his whole season and whatnot. He really wasn't 100%. You know, he dealt with injuries, dealt with COVID, and now with the whole offseason and with, you know, training with the team and whatnot and bulking up this year, I mean, there's going to be some big things happening for Henry Ruggs on this offense. And I've told you guys before, this is a guy that I believe can break out this season. Jon Gruden also said that he's a difference maker with his speed. And that's true, because if he can utilize his speed to the best of his ability, woo, the NFL better watch out. Now, even though Jon Gruden has been hyping up everybody on this team, all the players up on this team, he was kind of real with how he felt about, you know, giving us a grade as an overall team. When asked about what grade he will give this team as of right now, he actually said a C.
Well, we're a C. You know, we're 8-8. I think that's, you know, the best of the worst of the best. We have some good moments. We prove we can compete in the AFC West. You know, we're a couple plays away from being really good in the AFC West.
So I got to give it to him for being real. But Raider Nation, overall, what is your biggest takeaway from training camp day one or even Jon Gruden's press conference? And what grade would you give the Raiders right now, today? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. If this is the first time you're coming across my channel, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Road to 30K, help your boy out. With that being said, until the next video, this is your boy Samoan Raider, and your boy is, yeah.